Hey, Stano here, and I've been away for a few weeks on vacation, but I'm back, and today I am going to talk about the 1998 movie Meet Joe Black, one of my favorite movies that I watch whenever it's on TV or whenever it's on cable. I have the album. The album is awesome. The movie is awesome. Now, let me just say a few things. The movie is a little bit too long, okay? But if the writing in this movie, the dialogue, everything is so good. The acting is just so good in this movie. I just love this movie. And it stars, it's, let me just give you a little background. The movie is about a man named William Parrish who is suffering a heart attack. And he gets talked to by Death, and Death is talking to him, and he doesn't know what's going on. He knows he's having a heart attack. He feels it. But then it gets more into his daughter, played by Susan, and Susan meets a young man in a coffee shop, and that young man gets killed right after that. And from there, Death comes and meets Mr. Parrish as, wanting to see the world, and stays a few days with him to learn about the world, and then falls in love with Susan, the daughter. And she thinks it's the man she met in the coffee shop, but Death took the body of the man in the coffee shop. And let's get into it. Who's in this movie? The great Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is just so great in this movie. He is very young in this movie. He plays the young man in the coffee shop, and of course he plays Death, and he is given the name Joe Black by Mr. Parrish because his family doesn't know who he is. And I'm not going to get a lot into it. I told you a little bit about it, but you got to watch this movie. It's just so good. And then we have the great Claire Forlani. She plays Susan Parrish, who falls in love with the man in the coffee shop, who then becomes Death. And she falls in love with him. The great Anthony Hopkins, great Anthony Hopkins plays Mr. Parrish in this movie. He is just so good in this movie. Again, stick with this movie. It's 3 hours long, but the writing in this movie, just listen to what they say. It's just so good. It's just so good. Then there's Jake Weber, who plays Drew, who is actually dating Susan in this movie. And I'll tell you a little, not going to get more into this, but he's in this movie. He is so good in this movie as Drew. Then you have the great Marcia Gay Harden, who plays the other daughter, Allison, who's planning a party for Mr. Parrish for his 65th birthday. She is so good in this movie. Some really good scenes with Anthony Hopkins, really good scenes with her husband, played by the great Jeffrey Tambor. He plays Quince, and he is so good in this movie. He's like the funkle, like dumb guy husband, but he's just so good in this movie. And him and Marcia Gay Harden are great together. And when he's with Joe Black, played by Brad Pitt, they have some good scenes together. Just listen, seriously, go and watch this movie and just see how the writing is. It is just so well done. And a lot of people, just to let you know, there's a little hint about this movie. 1998, this came out, and they had attached to this movie the trailer to Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And a lot of people went into the theater to see the trailer and then walked out of and not even to watch the movie. And they missed a really good movie. I'm telling you, go and watch this. Now, I'm going to go through some of my favorite scenes in this movie, and I'm sorry I can't show the clip because of YouTube, but I'm going to show you some snapshots. So when Claire meets the young man for the first time in the coffee shop, they talk for a while in the morning. She's a doctor, and he's, I forget what his profession is, but They talk for a long time in the coffee shop, and there's some things that he says in the coffee shop that are just that trigger her, you know, that she starts to like this man. And when they leave the coffee shop, and this is one of my favorite scenes, and in the album it's called The Walk Away, and they walk away from each other while the music's playing. And you ever like meet somebody and you want to go back and talk to them, and as they're walking away from each other, they each turn around and they see the other person walking away, and then she turns around, then he turns around, sees her walking away, and he wants to say something but he doesn't. So you see here, he turns around and looks at her, but she's walking away, and then he never says anything to her at all. And then something happens I won't get into, but that is just one of my favorite scenes, when they talk outside and then when they start walking away and they look at each other as they're each walking away, and they don't know they're looking at each other. They just, you know, he turns around, she's walking away, then he turns, starts walking. She turns around, looks at him, he's walking away. It's just really, really, really good scene. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. And then this scene, which is Anthony Hopkins is talking about his wife and cold lamb sandwich, and his wife passed away, and he's talking to Death here, Brad Pitt's character. Once he becomes Death, he's talking about his wife, and this really gets me choked up because he talks about the first time he met his wife. And think about the first time you met your spouse or somebody you loved, you know, what they were wearing, you know, what she looked like. And this scene, he gets very choked up here, and it is really, really an emotional scene. When I watch it, I get emotional seeing this scene. You know, he talks about how she made cold lamb sandwiches for her, and then Death asks him, "Well, how did you guys meet?" And he tells him like what she was wearing. And I remember to this day what my wife was wearing when I first met her. And you know, do you ever have those moments? You know, when you think about like when you first met your spouse. This is such a great scene. And then the love scene. There's a really, really, really not graphic. There's no nudity. The music is absolutely beautiful. And then their talk after the love scene here, the camera, and I saw an interview with Brad Pitt, how he said how close the camera was to their faces when they were filming this scene. And even the love scene, you see no nudity in this. Yeah, they take their clothes off slowly, but just the dialogue they have here, like she says, "Are you going anywhere?" He goes, "No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here." And she talks real sweet to him, and he talks back to her. I just love that scene. It's just so, so, so good. And then finally, well, not finally, this is another scene, and when he's at his 65th birthday, he says a speech. William Parrish says a speech to the audience, and I love that speech. It's just so, so, so well written. Just great performance by Anthony Hopkins in this scene, and everybody just listening to him. I always wonder how many times did they film that scene, but I just love when he does his speech. And I actually have that speech in a Word document because I just love it, just the way what he says to the audience. And then finally, this is a scene where he says to Brad Pitt's character when he's Death, and, you know, it's hard to let go, isn't it? And Brad Pitt's character, Death, says, "Yes, it is." And then Mr. Parrish says, "Well, that's life. What can I tell you?" Just that line alone is just great. Like, you know, things that happen in your life and somebody says something, you go, "Well, that's life. What can I tell you?" I just love that scene too. The album by Thomas Newman. The album is so good. And again, when I listen to this album, I just know what scene of the movie that's in. Like, I just love just fantasizing the movie with the album, listening to it, because I know what scene it is. I know what's going on. I can just picture in my head like the walk away outside the coffee shop, the love scene. Just there's a lot I just love about the album. I highly recommend the album by Thomas Newman. So that is Meet Joe Black, 1998, Brad Pitt, Claire Forlani, Anthony Hopkins. Such a great movie. I highly recommend it. 3 hours long. If you have 3 hours, you have a rainy day, a hot day you have to stay in and watch this movie. And again, if this is your first time watching, welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And, you know, hit that bell if you want a notification when I have a new video uploaded. So I'm sorry I've been away for a while. I'm back. I'm going to be talking about more movies. So this is the Stano Show. I'm Stano, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.